Hey, what's up, y'all? I got some time on my hands, so I wanna talk about something that I think my conscience and my image, my conscience was calling me to go ahead and tackle. And I talk about it a lot, and I talk about it a lot in the second phase, meaning like it's not the priority. And I'm talking about depression. And the reason why I created this channel is because I now figured out this week, and today is October the 28th, 2018. I am 49 years old. I'll be 50 in 2 months. I just figured out this week, I think I cracked the code to the DNA of depression. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist. I didn't go to school to figure out anything. Everything that I'm telling you now is based on my experience, how I feel. I now understand that depression, it's very slick. Depression wants to be your best friend. Depression wants you to stay in a house. I ask myself, why do I sometimes I'll have a million things to do, but I would just want to stay in the house. I'll be finding a reason to stay in the house. I have to call the office and hire an assistant just to be me out in public, and I'm always trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And I figured it out this week. Depression is a real slick bastard. I think depression and the devil are brothers. And I say that because in hindsight, you can be very successful as I am. You could have all the money you need. You could just be in your rhythm. Depression doesn't care. Depression will find a way. Depression will, hey, remember that? Sob about it. Hey, remember that? Think about it. Hey, remember that? Think about that some more. I think that's amazing. I do. And I know I'm talking about it like it's in the third person, but that's how I want to address it. I'm just at awe with depression. I think the more successful you are, the worse it is. I believe that when you're successful, you have the belief or the impression that success shields you from a lot of stuff. When in fact, when it comes to depression, because you are successful, you don't think you should be depressed. It's kind of like an analogy that I can give a virgin having a sexually transmitted disease. I want to be the new face of depression. And I want to be because I was talking to this female, real beautiful woman. And I just felt as though she was depressed. And when I would talk to her, I would hear about a lot of problems that she had with her mother, but it seems as though, excuse me, it seems as though her life stopped after the interaction with her mother. And it seems as though everything that she was adding in she was kidding herself. I think about her. I liked her a lot. I personally thought she was a beautiful woman. But I can't be somebody's therapy. I can't. Because you don't know what you're getting. And in addition to that, my own personal depression. I did everything right that you're supposed to do as a father. I fought to give my daughter good. And today, which is the 28th of October, I would be hard pressed to tell you that I would ever forgive my family. It's kind of like I became friends with the wrong thing. Because when you have depression, you have it for life. When you're depressed, you have it for life. You never get over it. You know, how many women you know could be friends with their rapist? How many people that had their home burglarized can become roommates with the burglar? How many people you know would even think about fighting crime with someone who killed one of their loved ones? A lot of sayings, a lot of beliefs, they're out the window. I don't want to be, I can't be friends with something, I can't acknowledge something or someone that caused me to feel the way that I felt when I'm depressed. I can't. There's a lot of animosity there. There's also the possibilities of them doing it again. Why wouldn't you think they would not? Why wouldn't you think, that they wouldn't do it again? I believe that depression is caused by a world that should exist that don't. I believe that depression is caused by a world that should exist, but it don't. I'll give you an example of what I mean. If I was to sit down, if I was to ride a bike, fall down and break my arm, that wouldn't cause me depression. My arm would heal. And depending on your age, it will heal back to full strength. That's your arm. But if I supposed to and want to protect my child, and I go to court, and for no reason at all they tell me I can't, and then there's a woman that tells you that we're gonna laugh, that laughs at you, a woman that tells you I am going to turn your child against you, a woman that tells you you will be paying child support and I'm going to turn your family against you, your brain cannot process that. It's bad. This is not about family court. This is about depression. And the reason why that hurts is because a woman laughed at you and it happened. The prediction of destroying you, that person won. A world that should be, but doesn't exist. It's kind of like having all the lottery numbers. You win the lottery, the drawing, you win the lottery, only to be standing in line at the lottery dealer, the lottery, and right before you go up to the window to cash in your ticket, you hear, "We're closed, we're out of money." And you were the next in line. Well, what about my ticket? I won. That was a risk. Then they hit you with a legal disclaimer. That was a risk by certainty. If the state goes bankrupt, then they don't have to give you that money. And you're like, wow. The one time I hit, the city runs out of money and go bankrupt. You'll never ever be right after that. You got the $1 million lottery ticket in your hand, and just before you go up there, they say, nope, you'll never be right after that. I promise you, you'll never be right. Today is Sunday, man. I'm going on a long drive on a back road. It's perfect. This is what I do. It's my thoughts. I get everything out. And I want to talk about depression. Success does help. Having a dog does help with depression. I'll do a video about that later on, about how my dog saved my life. But depression can hit anybody. A lot of people ask themselves, how could a star take their lives? Robin Williams. How could this man take his life? He had it all. People, when you are depressed, your body will understand you better if you was a bum out on the streets. When you are depressed, your body, it's hard for your mind, it's hard for your mind to register you being depressed when you're rich. It's even worse for your mind to add everything up. It's hard for your mind to calculate everything when you're rich and famous. It is. It's almost like you are depressed. You know how the law has a felony and then they have a misdemeanor, then a felony? When you're depressed, When you're poor, that's a misdemeanor. However, when you're rich, that's a felony. It's like you're not supposed to be. So it's worse. Just as is a felony, is harder. It creeps up on you. I would say, I'm not going to say it's worse with men. I'm not going to get into that. But men, just as it's harder to get a man to go to the doctors, it's hard to get a man to admit that he's depressed. I have an organization where I have helped thousands of men. Thousands of men. And these individuals, I can ask them every symptom of depression without saying depression, and they'll say, yup, that's how I feel. Did you feel like you was worth nothing? Yup. Did you feel like your existence meant nothing? Yeah. Were you hurt? Yeah. Did you feel like crying? Yeah. You get all these yeahs. Then when I say you're depressed, and it's like, well, I wouldn't say all that. A man wouldn't. When you admit, I'm talking to you men now. When you admit that you are depressed, the chess game begins. However, if you want to navigate yourself through life with claims that you are not depressed, you will lose, and you will continue to lose. You will lose. You will lose. I'll talk to you guys later.